Good morning, viewers. Thank you very much. Welcome to Punchline Africa television broadcasting from the Political Command Center headquarters in Mombasa, Kenya. Good morning, viewers across the continent of Africa and those watching us. Good morning, our viewers. Good morning, those who have encouraged us, who have helped us on this journey of 7 years in our broadcasting online. We have impacted quite a lot of people. We have actually greatly said what is supposed to be said. Good morning, Miriam, in Nairobi, the general headquarters of Punchline Africa TV. Good morning.
Adelka, very good morning to you and good morning to our viewers.
Thank you very much, Miriam. You have already exhausted the morning show, which is local, which is the newspaper review of the Kenyan events, political events, and other activities that are taking place, social, economic, and political matters that touch the country of the Republic of Kenya. Right now, let's switch to the regional and Africa and the world and see what was and what it is, what was yesterday, what it will be tomorrow. Good morning. I will start with the regional newspaper review and headlines. I will go to Tanzania. CCM sets the ball rolling. I think CCM is trying to tell the world that they do exist as a revolutionary party, and they are therefore setting the ball rolling. Miriam, I don't know what you have further details, because where I am, I cannot access a bit of the details, the snip of the first paragraph of CCM. What does it say? CCM sets the ball rolling, if you have those papers on your screen, but if you don't have them, that is okay. Then we have on the same newspaper, as you look for the headline, government embraces openness and transparency. Tanzania seems to be moving towards the angle of open democracy, open transparency. And Tanzania seems to be the president of the Republic of Tanzania seemed to be not very keen. He's following the footsteps of the late President Magufuli, saying he doesn't travel to foreign trips. I was surprised that some of the most important, this would have been the first trip of hers in the Commonwealth, heads of state. But she has chosen not to travel. She has sent the Vice President of Tanzania, Mapango, who is representing Tanzania in the summit. So, Miriam, I think we seem to be going the route of Magufuli, that all these regional meetings, I have discovered something that why my Tanzanian friends sent it to me and asked me a very, very interesting question, which I will bring up on the top of the hour. And she is not traveling at all. She's embracing, working, building, breaking Tanzania, digging roads, digging schools, digging bridges, building school dispensaries, hospitals, and the factories. They are doing a great job down in Tanzania. That is very good. This newspaper goes again. I don't know, Miriam. I have my computers down here are not working properly. You can, yeah, the Citizen of Tanzania says fate of 19 MPs in Speaker's hands after court decision. You know, there were some MPs here in Kenya. You can resign from one party, or you can be elected from one party, then you run to another party, then remain collecting the salary. The Tanzanian Chama Chadema and I is saying, no way. If you are elected on Chadema, you must stick on Chadema line. You cannot cross and remain there and don't obey the regulations. So the speaker has to make a ruling of Tanzanian parliament in Dodoma. The next one is the Fed, a special seats MPs last month failed an application requesting approval of challenging decisions to expel them from their opposition party. So Tanzania say bankers upbeat as the mortgage market crosses shillings 500 billion mark. Government farm on Rono Lodiodo demarcation, Ngorongoro relocations. This thing of the Maasai is still eating Tanzania. In Nigeria, the Punch, 20 senators set to dump APC, party's majority under threat. Oh, things politics is changing in Africa everywhere. That's why we have one of the politics elections in Africa on one of my political debrief this morning. The 20 senators set to dump APC, the ruling party of Nigeria, and there is most likely to be a question of threat to the majority, and it could remove Buhari's government 1 year before elections. That is what is happening in Nigeria. And 23 children, 143 other stranded Nigerians returned from Libya. That's a good sign. People who had gone to Libya fleeing Nigeria, northern parts of Nigeria, going into the Mediterranean Sea. It is better to return home than to die around the ocean or the sea crossing over to Italy. The other paper in Nigeria, The Nation, investors stocked 1.5 trillion naira on equities in 5 months. The markets are doing very well. And then abductors behead another lawmaker after collecting 1.5 million naira, 15 million naira. They beheaded him. A member of parliament. You see, the situation in Africa, Miriam, these countries are falling to pieces. They abducted a member of parliament and they beheaded him. After they have received even the money, they cut him to pieces. And they sent the body, the head, instead of sending the man alive. What is going on in Nigeria, you can't even believe. It is a sorry state. Are these countries worth for us to visit? APC moves to prevent defections of 18 senators. And there is a picture of a lady, one of those, I think, abducted. I don't know how escaped from, one of the children, women that escaped from Boko Haram captivity after 8 years as insurgents wishes, wives by Chiboko schoolgirls. 8 years after insurgents, you remember when the Chiboko girls were abducted. 8 years, this one has managed to escape, and she's telling the world the story of what has happened inside Boko Haram. Is Nigeria falling apart? Is Nigeria falling apart? Tuesday, very early in the morning, we shall do Nigeria, is the day when a bail condition, bail settings for the abducted Nigerian Nnamdi Khan will be set after intervention of the British government and other people. I think he might get his bail on Tuesday. So it is said we shall be broadcasting live from Abuja. Our correspondents will be there and we shall know what will happen. But Nigeria itself, Miriam, presents a sorry state that is killing us at the moment. And I think Africa, we need to be very honest and sit down and see whether Miriam take over from there on that one.
All right, let me see the rest of the papers that were remaining. The Punch newspaper, 20 senators set to dump APC party's majority under threat. That is the headline. And Kaduna Church attacks politically motivated. That is according to the presidency. And then we move on to The Guardian. From the UK, talks to end rail dispute breakdown in acrimony. And UK alarm as polio virus found in water system. Afghanistan earthquake kills hundreds. That is what we have on the front page of The Guardian. The Daily Telegraph, still from Britain. Teachers' strike would be unforgivable, says Zahawi. Okay, so that is what we have. And Johnson to tell Charles he is proud of migrant plan. And polio warning as virus spreads in Britain for first time in 40 years. That is what we have. Newsday from Zimbabwe, strike paralyzes major hospitals. We know that medics in Zimbabwe are striking from Monday, and talks did not break the deadlock, so it has paralyzed the services in major government hospitals, and dozens trafficked Zimbo's stuck in Turkey. And the Daily News, also from Zimbabwe, fix economy to deal with unrest. Analysts tell government civil servants toy for better pay. And ANC fears grow over Farmgate. That is what we have there. And the Daily Monitor from Uganda, government to teachers, teach or quit. You either sail on or ship out, the government has told arts teachers who are on strike over salary discrepancies, setting the stage for a titanic battle which will leave one of the two parties bruised on the edge and could affect learners in public institutions. That is on page 4. And EC backs Bobi Wine in battle for NUP's soul. And the New Vision, still from Uganda, Museveni lifts ban on 500 billion Uganda shillings donor funding. And Museveni meets Danish envoy investors. That is on the front page and is the main headline. And government orders teachers to resume work. That is on page 4. And then government gets 49 billion Uganda shillings for reforms to Milo land tenure. And also ADF suspect arrested in Buloba, and still on the coast, Uganda Airlines boss charged. So that is what we have, and some of the papers in Africa and others from outside. Doc?
Yes, Miriam, interesting. I have picked quite a lot on Uganda. Museveni lifts ban on 500 billion donor funding. 500 billion. He had suspended all NGOs. But one interesting story in the Daily Monitor is Bobi Wine's party. African politics is very interesting. It has been divided into factions. You get my point. There is another faction fighting and saying, and this by the MPs, saying the leadership. And this is exactly what I've been talking about. And telling people the truth about this younger generation that is seeking to capture power. that you have to be very careful. You must be able to articulate very nicely. Leadership does not just come, you wake up, get a guitar and go and play. It is very, you need to know, some of us have been experienced, we have been in the State House at the age of about 20 in the State House, right, either dusting wardrobes or running with the president. Miriam, you know, the mere fact that you are near President Obote and telling him, sir, the tie is not proper, or Your Excellency, the tie, the shirt. You know, you grow up knowing what leadership is. I have been there, I've seen, I've been welcomed by, they come into my office, I want to see you, what is the problem now? Do you sound not happy? Those type of things, you are matured towards leadership. But when you just drop like Angel Gabriel's son, or Jesus has arrived and you set up a party, now this NUP is going to pieces. The government, somebody seems to be working against its downfall. I will seek more news and more. The guy is begging the Electoral Commission, which he did not like. You see, when politics takes you to that level, you know, and this is all, let me tell you, Miriam, it all comes because of this money. The number of MPs in parliament is the amount of money you get. Now, NUP got a lot of money as the second biggest party. Not simple, billions. And the division has come from there. Now, after the government releasing the money, they went and told another group, say, you know, this guy, he started a party in his own house. The property was his, Miriam, where the headquarters were. Now what they have done, the other group said, no, we need an official residence where we pay rent. He goes and opens an office, but who is funding that office? Machiavellian politics. The answer is yours. And you are an expert on it. There is something I wanted to give you, which I will send you on your phone so that you can use it in the future. Do you know where the bottom up came from? It is the exact model of parish funds across in Uganda. Ruto has copied the bottom up from the parish fund that is being thrown around in Kampala for people to borrow, to be given 100 million per parish. And I'm telling you, it is, politics of Africa is very interesting. That's all I can see. I picked that one from the Daily Monitor. And they fixed the economy of Zimbabwe or to deal with unrest. Unrest is coming. In my clip, and Miriam, I cried, I almost cried tears when I saw this clip yesterday. But I don't want to say it here on TV. That is the clip that should have come out. Everybody is saying yes. How do you know about these things? I say, look, I've been telling people that this government is going to be surrounded. It will be surrounded. And it will be surrounded by unrest. Very serious unrest. So if they don't do something, the trouble is going to come from there. And the Farmgate scandal across in South Africa is even worse. So there is a target to target liberation organizations, parties. that have been there in the liberation. Believe me or not, very soon, one government will fall. And don't tell me that I didn't tell you. They are busy on working on that. And that is, as far as papers are concerned. Good morning, Africa. Good morning. Thank you very much, media. I'm in Nairobi, Kenya. And this is the Political Command Center right in Mombasa, headquarters of politics of this Great Lakes region. Number one, political debrief. The Commonwealth heads of state started arriving in Rwanda yesterday. On Monday, Prince Charles is in Rwanda, but other presidents kept on coming at night. I've been watching live events. I have friends inside the convention center of Rwanda who are giving me feeds. But there is one strange thing that I picked out from the Commonwealth, that the Tanzanian president, for the first time, it was her first time to be in the Commonwealth. But because I think she has been attending many of these Commonwealth meetings, remember she has been very instrumental in the ministry, and she sent her Deputy President or Vice President of Tanzania, Mapango, who has represented her in Rwanda. But as we shall see at the top of the hour, it is not the failure of Tanzania going. Tanzania feels there is something which is not very right. Yeah. Even here, the meetings that you have been conducting, they are sending envoys. They are sending the ambassador go and represent. Not because they don't have the money to fly, but they have they have some obstacle. They have something against some of the things that have taken, which of we shall see at the top of the hour. So the Commonwealth is going on. There are so many things that have been talked. They have talked about the health one hub system that Kenya has created. I saw a Kenyan guy presenting what Kenya has done. Huduma number was talked about in Rwanda. The hub that President Uhuru Kenyatta collected. They praised even President Uhuru Kenyatta in his absentia for bringing in all this and continuing with M-Pesa and money transfers in the business sector. Some of the European countries observers who have come to observe the elections, the conference, are interested in knowing what Safaricom, how it works, and how they can do it in their countries in Europe. That is the Commonwealth. Douglas, do you have any comment on the Commonwealth and the regional papers so far? And good morning, my dear son.
He's trying to join. But also South Africa did not attend Commonwealth. There has been a frosty relationship between South Africa and Kigali. So President Cyril Ramaphosa did not attend. I don't know if he sent anybody to represent him, but he's not attending that. Instead, he shall be having a meeting with, he'll be taking part today with the BRICS Leader Summit to be hosted by Chinese President Xi Jinping. So he will not be attending because of so many other reasons and misunderstandings that South Africa has had with Kigali, especially after a few of former government officials who fell out with President Kagame, who ran to South Africa. I think they were killed there, and there was a back and forth as far as accusations were concerned, and South Africa expelled some diplomats of Rwanda from the country, and Rwanda reiterated by expelling some. And so the efforts that they've tried to revive and to address the diplomatic part has not been successful. So that could be the reason why Cyril Ramaphosa didn't attend, and also maybe he thinks, there's no reason for South Africa to be there anyway.
South Africa is a key member of the Commonwealth. South Africa pushed their independence through the push by the Commonwealth. But it's regrettable that it does not attend, but I think it will send the Vice President Mabuza, who will be attending on behalf of President Ramaphosa. I don't know whether President Uhuru Kenyatta has arrived in Kigali or he hasn't gone. It looks like there are some things that are developing cold feet. Some things that are coming. Thank you very much, Krimi. I'm here now. You are here. Thank you very much. Good morning, all of you. And Onyango, good morning. I can see you. There are so many things that are happening, Miriam. When you come up on the top of the hour, you in the diplomatic leagues, you will understand what I'm talking about. A proxy war that I predicted 7 years ago, in 2015, that there will be a proxy war in the region that could make everything come back to a halt. Indeed, this war here, and that's why you see many countries are developing cold feet, because everybody is praising Rwanda. But in internal democracy, if you do it in your country, you will be given sanctions. But Rwanda has not been put on sanctions for so many of these things that have happened. So there is that frosted relationship that is running up and down on the situation. Thank you. And thank you for bringing that one of South Africa, Miriam. That's very great. Any other issue that you must have spotted in the Commonwealth?
No.
No. Any issue that you have spotted, Douglas, or which you feel about the Commonwealth? Can I ask Douglas a direct question? Do you think President Uhuru Kenyatta should send William Ruto for...
Good morning, Dr. David Matanga, Miriam Mogutu, and also to our friends across the world, and also to my co-panelists. Dr. David Matanga, I also think the Commonwealth ends of State Summit being held in Kigali, Rwanda, is something that could not sit well with countries that protect democracy and countries that hold the liberties of their own citizens free from any man or any woman's control. Because Rwanda is said to be an hub of stifling democracy, human rights abuse, and many other atrocities that have been committed to the people of Rwanda by President Paul Kagame and his government. And then we have Zimbabwe asking to be readmitted to Commonwealth. And we also have another country, the same problems that have bedeviled Zimbabwe before, when they were struck off the Commonwealth of 19 years ago. They are the same problems that the people of Rwanda experience. But you ask yourself, why? Because now Zimbabwe was asking to be readmitted back to Commonwealth. Why could they not, as a show of goodwill and also as a show of remorse for the Commonwealth itself and its member states, why could they not hold them in Harare, Zimbabwe? Why would they not hold it in one of the cities in Zimbabwe to show them that now you are welcome and all that? But another person or another country that has committed atrocities against the people of Rwanda and also committed human rights abuse and many other evils is given an opportunity to host such a great event. I believe there is a lot of hypocrisy in the Commonwealth, and I hope that in going forward into the future, they are going to be able to reimagine the same concept and also make sure that their image is not tainted. Because Rwanda, today there are people in prison in Rwanda. Why would they not use that platform in Kigali, Rwanda, and advocate for the release of political prisoners? Why would they not use the same platform and advocate for human rights defenders who are in prison to be released by Paul Kagame? You cannot use that platform to continue talking about plans and plans and plans for the future without talking about the problems that continue bedeviling the people of Africa and especially the people in Rwanda. There are people, opponents of Kagame in prison today. Why would they not use? Prince Charles is there. Why did he not use that opportunity to champion for the release of political prisoners who are opponents of Paul Kagame of Rwanda, and also to ask Paul Kagame to stop dictatorial tendencies in development of Rwanda and its governance, and also ask Paul Kagame to tour the democratic line and also ask him to also stop human rights abuse. And if President Uhuru Kenyatta would have sent William Ruto to Commonwealth of State Summit in Kigali, Rwanda, that's no Dr. David Masanga. I wouldn't wish William Ruto to represent our country because I have not seen William Ruto in any high capacity meeting being sent out by the President of the Republic of Kenya. The President knows very well the capacity of his deputy. He knows very well that William Ruto cannot represent this country outside his own personal gain missions that he has been able to carry out in Uganda, Dubai, and to sanitize his international image. The tour that he tried to make of the USA and the UK to sanitize his international profile. For the last 10 years, as a top government official and number 2 in a country, he should have made sure that he has represented his country well. But when William Ruto left this country for Uganda, scandal. When he left this country for Dubai, major scandal, money laundering and all that. When he left this country for USA, scandals. Dr. David Masanga, this is not a true face of government, and he cannot be able to represent the tenets and principles of the President of the Republic of Kenya. All we, the people of Kenya, are 50 million plus people or population that embody a country or a state known as Kenya. William Ruto cannot represent our best interest. What we can only hear if he runs in Rwanda today are scandals after scandals, Dr. David Masanga. And this is not what we want to present to the world. That's why I'm asking the people, listen to the President of the Republic of Kenya. He has said that his deputy, William Samoei Ruto, is not qualified to become the next CEO or President and Head of State of the Republic of Kenya because he says he's corrupt, he's a rat grabber, and he actually cautioned people yesterday when he was giving title deeds that this man is a rat grabber. You grab your hand when he becomes President of the Republic of Kenya. Uhuru Kenyatta knows him as the President, and he also knows him now that he's number 2 or the deputy cannot be able to be, his capacity has been doubted by the end of state. I wouldn't wish him to send him to Kigali, Rwanda. Thank you. Those are my thoughts.
Okay. Also, Miriam, you've another topic that we forgot. 4 countries have been expelled, suspended from African Union. Did you pick that story somewhere?
I talked about it yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, 4 countries: Sudan, South Sudan, Mali, Guinea, and another one. Are they 4 or 5?
South Sudan?
South Sudan, Sudan, Mali, Guinea,
Burkina Faso.
And the Burkina Faso, yes. They have been suspended from African Union meetings and any activities until they normalize their houses. Some of them for not paying even money, like South Sudan. It has no money, it has a lot of areas, and so on and so forth. Okay, I saw the chairperson of African Union arriving in that capital city of Rwanda yesterday. I agree with the sentiments of Douglas that there are some shortfalls on AU, on Commonwealth, and it is creating quite a lot of anxiety for people to understand why we talk about democracy and we are not ignoring, and we are, you see, Rwanda has played a very pivotal role of cry child. From 1994, it has remained, don't touch the child. But time has come that the child has healed. But we should see good example coming out. Indeed, Kagame has done very well internally, stabilized the nation. But there's only one element that worries everybody, the element of democracy. But democracy in Africa, I want to tell you, my people, hasn't reached a degree where you can be happy with it. So we have to.
But those are the key tenets for one to be a member of the Commonwealth. I think democracy and free speech and all that. Tell me one opposition figure you know from Rwanda.
The what?
One opposition figure you know from Rwanda.
They are in jail.
Yeah. But Commonwealth and the UK, that is a champion for democracy and all that, have no problem holding that meeting there. It is a hypocrisy. I can't even talk about Commonwealth. I can't stand that. That
Okay,
pretense.
let's pass it. Let's pass.
That hypocrisy, I can't even.
No. Thank you very much, Onyango. Miriam, you hate the Commonwealth, but you speak
I don't like. For me, it is a symbol of neo-colonialism, and I have a problem with that. And you will never convince me we need to be part of Commonwealth.
Yeah, but you can as well go to Germany.
Because the head of it, the head of that is no. That's another story altogether.
No, it is
the
not
head of the
another
Commonwealth
story.
is the Queen.
It seems you hated my Commonwealth.
Let's stop sideshows. The head of the Commonwealth is the Queen. What does that mean?
Yes, it's the Queen.
Yeah.
And she's the head of the Commonwealth.
Yeah, tell me how we are still not under colonialism.
Britain has chosen the route of the monarchy. It's part of the democracy that they want.
And the monarchy is the head of Commonwealth. I have a problem with that.
So
as an African,
everybody, you can have a problem with it, but you also have the chancellor.
I have a problem with that. For me, it's
have the chancellor of German, but there is also the head of the German government. Yeah, we cannot rule out Commonwealth, Miriam.
German has not set out an organization to bring its former colonies together. I don't think it has done that.
Hello, Miriam. There are good things.
You will never convince me anything nice about
I'm not going to convince you, but I'm now going to tell you facts.
I don't see anything nice with Commonwealth.
There are good things. Yeah, if you don't see anything right, there are good things that you can see in other things. Yeah. Even the AU has got very bad things, but we still
criticize them. We criticize them because what happens there is a lot of nonsense, and we talk about
Positive criticism is welcome.
Yeah.
But now you criticize them in Swahili.
Here's a lot of nonsense. Your Commonwealth, it doesn't all go well with me.
Douglas,
as an African, I just.
Let's have a topic on the Commonwealth.
I think I will excuse myself from that conversation. I don't want to pretend.
But you have to explain. You can't excuse yourself. You can't just say.
Yeah.
You hate. Oh, Miriam, excuse me. I'm speaking now. You can't just hate an organization without laying the reasons.
You see, the same way we have a problem with France and the way it's controlling its former colonies, and we speak against that.
Yes.
For me, I'm an equal opportunist. If something is wrong, it's wrong. If it's right, it's right. That's it with me.
Yes, I have problems with the French because up to today, the French create wars.
And me too, I have a problem with that.
You have said, which the Commonwealth does not create. Has the Commonwealth come to Kenya to create a war? No. Has the Commonwealth gone to Tanzania to create a war? No. But the French have created a war in every region that they colonized. That's the truth. So we are balanced. There is nobody forcing you to like the Commonwealth. But we must give reasons, like the reason you have just given, that you have. What are the reasons? Lay them down. Let's have a paper. Let's have an argument. And see that people make a judgment. what has the Commonwealth done wrong, which you need? You have a point when you say they go to places where there is no democracy. That one is a point. Rwanda has no democracy. It has no democratic. Actually, it can't stand for one word called democracy.
And that
but
is,
here we are.
And that is the main thing why they're penalizing Zimbabwe, right? Because of lack of democracy. So that is the main problem. And
the
Zimbabwe,
double standard. I agree with you.
Yes, and Zimbabwe, the UK is the one country that single-handedly engineered the downfall of Zimbabwe. So
yes.
That messes with my mind when Zimbabwe is still insisting they have to go back to be part of something that has really that has messed them up.
You remember our topic, the first original topic we wanted to say, but I had to change the topic because I had a lot of calls from Zimbabwe to say we are not. Some of the Zimbabweans were not happy about coming back to the Commonwealth. Some of them said they have punished us, which is true.
Yeah.
They punished them for 22 years. And they are now going back without compensation.
And for the same reasons that Rwanda is doing, but is not being punished.
Yes. Nobody has put sanctions on Rwanda for wiping out all opposition leaders. Even a man who did a film is serving a life sentence.
In fact, they're worse than Zimbabwe, but Zimbabwe gets to suffer. I don't get that.
I do agree.
Yeah, so you see it now why I have a problem.
Those are the reasons. That's why I said we need to discuss them openly and tell the people why, instead of saying
why we need to get rid of Commonwealth.
These are the reasons. Now you are telling me the good reasons.
Yeah, why we don't need Commonwealth.
Any human being can support. You can't expel Zimbabwe for not conducting elections. Then you go to a country where the leader has won election.
It's even worse.
A leader has won an election, 99.9%. You hear that? I think that is true. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Yes. 99.9% vote went to Mr. Kagame. And everybody fears him. Nobody can say what it is. Because his people are very ruthless. If you can follow a person and kill a person in his room in South Africa, using a towel, you tie him and kill him and leave the door. That's very, very worrying. And here we are. It is like the French. You have a point here. Look at the French. Mr. Paul Biya cannot even live in Cameroon. He lives in Switzerland. The Prime Minister of the Commonwealth again. Cameroon is a member of the Commonwealth. They have allowed the Prime Minister of Commonwealth of Cameroon to attend the Commonwealth heads of state meeting.
It's a member.
Where Kenyatta, who was elected as a president by fighting for universal suffrage, is also sitting.
And the Anglophone, the English-speaking people are being massacred in Cameroon. But
in Amazonia.
Yes.
And nobody, that Secretary General, when I told her about the Cameroon, she told me, oh, you want to discuss Cameroon here? It will not go down well for you. I said, okay, fine. Thank you very much, madam. I helped you to campaign to get the post. Now, today, you are on a microphone everywhere in the world. You don't want even to meet me. I went to meet this lady. She first asked the Secretary General and the PA to call me. And then she thought I was Mutunga, that I was Chief Justice Mutunga. I told the Secretary General, Mutunga, when did I look like a Mutunga? When she came to see me, then I said, can I give you, where's your phone? Let me send a picture. My picture is here. Go and tell her that this is the man at the reception. Oh, then they say, oh, we are sorry. We were expecting Mr. Mutunga, but the Secretary General would like to see you now. When I entered the office, I said, this is how you do in Africa and the black people. We shall never progress. When you needed these votes for me to go around African countries to persuade them to vote for you, you could have not got this slot. Now today, the same people who sing democracy at home are singing democracy with dictatorship. That's why I brought this topic for us to talk. That's the Commonwealth. Thank you very much. But Miriam, I am not against speaking against the Commonwealth.
And I like that we're having an open conversation, and you can clearly see it's as much as maybe there are few benefits that are being derived from this, but also a lot of it has nothing to do with the benefit of all of us. If we were to look at the tenets and the reasons as to why Commonwealth is in place, it has nothing to do with our benefit, really. Yeah, because if you are, like the examples, Doc, that you've cited, what is Cameroon doing in Commonwealth? Judging from every news we've been talking about here, but they cannot suspend Cameroon. It's still there. Paul Biya, still there. You know, so it's a lot.
And to speak about the countries, international agencies that confuse us even more. Now the African Union says it is not part and parcel of the talks in Sudan. Then how will you get Sudan back to the AU?
Mm-hmm.
Total confusion. You are right. Well, I got my invitation, Miriam, and fortunately, I did not have the money. But even if I had the money, I don't think I would have gone to Rwanda. Because the same sentiments, if you raise them in the Rwanda hotel.
You might never come out of that country. That is true.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got for viewers, this is my invitation. You can see it. The Commonwealth, it is dear Dr. David, you can see here. Yeah, I should attend the summit. But I didn't want to attend. And God bless me, I'm here. So let's move on quickly and finish. Elections in Africa. I think we have captured a bit of it in what we are doing at the moment. Elections in Africa create more confusion. Yesterday we are on another show and we looked at elections. Surely, the way things are conducted in Africa, the way things are being done by IEBC in Kenya. Let's combine those two topics. The IEBC in Kenya is behaving as if they already know the failure is like a student who says, even if I do what, mathematics, I will fail like Matanga. Even if I do whatever you people want me to do, I will not pass mathematics. So this is where the state where Chebukati has reached. He has come out to admit too many errors, too many mistakes have been heaped on him. And he has caused them from printing papers, from ballots, from what, tenders, from BVR kits missing, from all this. Something has worked out wrongly. Do we need to say much on it? Maybe Miriam, you have something to add on, or Douglas, or Paul. Paul, you have not spoken. We are on elections and IEBC, electoral commissions in Africa, and bodies, institutions. What do we do with them? Paul.
Good morning.
We can't hear you.
You are not hearing me.
Now we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for this opportunity, Dr. Miriam, and the viewers at large. My take on elections in Africa is that our institutions for democracy, they're not really institutions. Most of the institutions in many states in Africa, I can call them that they are machineries for the ruling parties in most cases. So even if we talk about elections, even if we talk about democracy, we don't see much happening. It's either the opposite of what we expect. So we have a long way to go for us to reach that level whereby we can talk of the institutions working to deliver the expectation. We have a long way to go. It's just like what we can call what science talks about revolution. We need to revolve. That's my take.
That's your take. Okay. What do you say, Douglas?
Thank you, Doctor. I believe for us to be able to be free from the shackles of the electoral commissions in Africa, we need something like a national manifesto or a national coalition of ideas where we can be able to share ideas after every 5 years. One party will take over and rule as president and deputy and all that. The others will go to opposition. And like in the BBI, where they said that the office of the opposition leader and their functions will be funded by the taxpayers, so that we can be able to get rid of Africa of these expensive elections every year. Because there's no need for elections in Africa, whereas we are using billions of dollars every year to conduct elections that are said to be a sham, and elections that are going to be nullified because of technicalities and all that. We need a national agenda or a national manifesto that can be fulfilled by an incoming government, so that nobody will come up with this manifesto after every 5 years and they would need to be elected into office. A party can be ruling for 5 to 10 years, and then another party will take over and all that. And those people that will be in opposition will not be plotting on how to be in power, but will be plotting on how to implement the national agenda or add some ideas to the national agenda as modernization and also new eras come into force and every other time. Because when this country gets to another hill of another politician and gets to implement the projects of President Uhuru Kenyatta, they are said not to be taking credit for the same. Remember, some of the projects that President Uhuru Kenyatta implemented, people are saying these are not brainchilds of President Uhuru Kenyatta. This is Vision 20 that is associated with President Kibaki. He is borrowing ideas from Kibaki. But if we have a national agenda or a national manifesto or a national coalition of ideas from different political parties, Jubilee Party takes 10 years or 20 years, 5 years. Another party comes into force, then the opposition and all that. They work together for the common good of our country. But for us to continue being battled together,
Yes.
For us to continue being battled together into elections after every 5 years, we are voting. Every 5 years, we are voting and voting different new leaders. It is a problem even in our counties, Dr. David Matanga, because in counties, you don't want to complete a project that was started by your predecessor. You want to start a new project, go for billions of shillings. Then after 10 or 20 years, we come to realize that these counties are achieving nothing because there are many ghost projects that are roaming around. If counties, for example, have a national or a county plan or a county agenda or a county manifesto that any governor, whether young, whether middle, whether old, can come into office and be able to implement the same, we will grow this country faster. We will grow this country without a need for elections after every 5 years that are going to be a sham, that continue benefiting a few clique of people at the BS of millions of Kenyans or Africans who continue voting and continue waiting for change that is not coming. Even if we say that change must come after every 5 years, it is us who are going to change things around themselves and continue taking over resources from the people and benefiting a few clique of leaders or the elite in a country. But if we have a national agenda, a national manifesto, as countries in Africa, we are going to be able to bring ourselves out of the shackles of poverty, incompetence and inept leadership as permitted by these national electoral commissions we've seen across the continent of Africa. The same thing is happening in Nigeria. For every 4 years or 5 years, ZMC applies itself back in force in Kenya after every 5 years. The same thing is happening across Africa. We can work together for one agenda, one national manifesto, and one plan that can be able to benefit both people that are waiting to get into power and those that are in power for maybe 5 to 10 years, Dr. David Matsanga. According to their performance, if they are performed well, they can be returned for another 5 years to continue implementing one particular agenda, because we are working for the people of Kenya and their public good. We are not working for the welfare of our leaders. Our leaders are our servants. Our leaders, we are not workers of our leaders. We are not going to let our taxes continue being wasted in these electoral commissions every 5 years. I think it's something that should be able to be brought on the table and people discuss the same. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Miriam, what do we say here?
We take a break and we come back.
We have said, Douglas, you have said all I wanted to say. The only voice that I want to add is, I have never seen people in the world, a country that sets itself to conduct an election which they know is not going to be nullified in the first 14 days. I don't know. Unless something is, I don't know. Because the amount of irregularities, you say, before you are qualifying to be a presidential candidate, you must have a degree. Or governor, you must have a degree. It is there. And you, in the act, you are ready. And then the degree comes, then you say, I don't know whether this is a degree or not a degree, but I have no capability to verify. But then the other degrees you have verified.
How have you verified?
Yeah, that's the, please, these are some of the things. I'm sorry. Tuachie Mungu. How did you verify Ruto's degree? You didn't go to school with Ruto. You didn't. Then, if you have said you have no capability, leave all of them to the institution that has capability. Once that institution says this degree is not working, then you don't clear the candidate. Have you seen that? This thing, Miriam, this thing went wrong when the moment when I had people saying, let all these people go. We shall sort their problem later. This is when I said, Allah, wow. In fact, Miriam, you tried to drag me into that debate. I ran away from it. That is where I saw. The thing went, you see, the problem that Chebukati is facing now, all these departments, the ones that he did not want to meet, they also seem to be fighting back to say you have not involved us. We shall only arrange for police to be there, but we don't want to know what the law is. Yet, the original idea of Chief Justice chairing the entire committee, including the EACC, including the IEBC, is to know. But Chebukati went back and requested the boss. You know, requested the boss, the one who manages Chebukati, that what do we do? Say, no, tell the Chief Justice that you will not be attending such a meeting. He wrote a letter that he is not bound to attend such a meeting. So that's where things went wrong. Now they are going wrong. We can't go anywhere back to that place. You have dropped manual check. You don't want manually to check whether your name, Medium, the computer could refuse. They could go and remove your name from the system at that last hour. If the computer doesn't show your name here, and you have put the fingerprint, you won't vote.
And Doc, we're assuming everybody has fingerprints. I know somebody where I used to work whose hands were chopped during post-election violence in Molo, does not have both hands. So this person does not have fingerprints. So that means he is not going to vote because there's no other ways of verifying if he's a voter. That is unfair. We are assuming everybody has fingerprints, and that is not the case.
So,
True.
Is there any other, the matter, can we talk about it tomorrow? The one that is left, the matter of ICC, because it will be nearer to Monday than today. Thank you very much. Douglas, or you wanted us to talk about it, Miriam?
No, we can talk about it tomorrow.
Tomorrow, it will give us, so that people can wait on what is going to happen on Monday. It is a defining moment that Mr. Gicheru, one morning, he just woke up and said, I want to go to die. Or I want to go, I'm going. So let's leave it to that. Let's take a briefer just for 2 minutes, switch on to diplomatic leaks. I will make a statement. We don't need to go much into details. What do you think, Miriam?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you will make a few points after I've made that statement, then you will go home. We've done our job. Yeah. Thank you.